Offices are reopening, and businesses are trying to come back online. But every state is different. No matter what phase of this you're in, we thought tonight's guest would give us a little sprinkle of hope and guidance as her small Texas town navigates the return of the new normal. Sharing her experience reopening, as well as recent transition from associate to partner, Miss Orthodontically Blonde will be joining us. Get ready for America's sweetheart, Dr. Alyssa Carter. Dose the kids with some melatonin. It's time for some straight talk. Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Straight Talk. My name is Tracy Martin. I'm the founder and lead consultant at Straight Consulting. With me, as always, are my co-hosts and fellow consultants, Scott Caldwell and Janelle Baum. Guys, thanks for being here.
Happy to be here. Hello.
Hello.
I love it. I love it. Awesome.
How's everyone's week?
So far, so good. Lots of learning, maybe a couple hundred TikToks. Other than that, same old, same old.
Nice.
I'm curious to see what your next TikTok's going to be. Do you have something planned, Janelle?
I've got a whole new project plan that's going to bring a lot of joy to people around the world.
Joy buddies. Yay. I love that. That's awesome. What about you, Scott? Do you have anything planned this week?
I'm just a busy week. I mean, we got episode 1 done, which was awesome, and then kind of immediately shifted into production on episode 2, and it's been great. I mean, feedback on episode 1 was awesome.
It was great.
Everyone who tuned in on that.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah. It was awesome. Thank you so much.
So excited to be doing it. Other than that, just hanging out, enjoying quarantine as best we can.
And lots of quarantinings, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Or whiskey, rather.
Or whiskey. Yeah. Okay. Well, awesome. Well, let's just get into it then. Our guest today is consistently at the top of everyone's list of favorite people, mine included. She's funny, outgoing, and charming as hell. This is probably why I like her so much, actually. But don't let the tiny stature fool you. She's absolutely a force to be reckoned with. All the way from Sherman, Texas, the Elle Woods of ortho. From Stokes Carter Orthodontics, please welcome Dr. Alyssa Carter.
Yay!
First of all, I thought for a second you were about to be our guest, Tracy, the way you were describing me.
Yeah, this is why I love you so much. This is why.
Then you said Elle Woods, and I was like, she doesn't have blonde hair. Thank you so much for having me. I feel humbled and honored to have been even considered to be one of your guests. So
Absolutely. We're excited to have you. So we always enjoy hanging out. I'm sorry it has to be virtual versus in real life.
I know.
Hey, soon enough, I'm driving down and there's no more virtual. We're going full stream in person.
Oh man, I miss our hangouts. I miss our hangouts in person for sure. But it was very easy to pick you to be a guest on the show, one of the first ones on the show, because of just how amazing you are and really, truly what a force you are to be reckoned with. I mean, I love hanging out with other powerful women and smart, brilliant women like yourself. And I know that right now is a pretty interesting time in our lives, but also very interesting in your life since you guys are reopened, right? Like you guys are up and seeing patients.
We are. We were able to open May 1st, but it was a little bit short notice. So we were able to do kind of a soft reopening, and we got all of our debonds in that first week. We just had a week of debonds and took care of our current patients. And then starting this past Monday, we jumped back into it, and we've had to change a few things, but it went so much smoother than I thought it would. I went home Monday, and I think I had some indirect stress I didn't realize from maybe worrying about how a 60% full schedule would run, and I went home feeling a lot better after the day passed.
Oh, I love that. Did you guys do like rehearsals or anything before? We've been talking about that a lot with some of our practices.
Any trial runs?
We did. So once we were allowed to open, I brought in like my mom because she's in braces and a few other, my cousin and a few other people. And then we, as a team, they kind of went through the entire process. We actually had a meeting and we went through the entire process of, okay, so the patient has an appointment, what needs to happen before they ever get to the office, and then what needs to happen when they get to the office. And we set up some tables, and we didn't put up plexiglass in front of the front office, but instead we put a table there with hand sanitizer, and in case someone couldn't fill out our health screening form before they arrived, they could sign it there. And that kind of made the 6 feet rule in practice. And then during all the debonds, because those are such long appointments, we only had 1 or 2 patients in the office at a time. And so that kind of helped us realize, okay, we need somebody running this part of like getting patients checked in and seated, and we've never needed that before. So we've rearranged some of the roles in the office temporarily, and then as soon as we can get back to normal, we will.
Oh, I love that. I love that plan.
Did you find that the patients were very compliant as well?
They were. Patients have been amazing. A few have asked, do we need to wear a mask, or are you doing anything different in your office? We're taking their temperature and we're doing the screening form and things like that. But for the most part, the patients are awesome. And it's funny, our appointments aren't taking any longer. I don't know if it's because we're not visiting with the parents, because I'm very social. And so usually before I check the patient, and then I have a little conversation with the parent and just, about how's life going, whatever. So it's kind of lonely. But as far as resistance, no, they've been awesome. I actually had one parent who said, this is amazing. I'm going to start doing this for every appointment. Just drop my kid up, text when I arrive, drop them off, send them in. You let me know when they're done. So she went and ran some errands, and we text her when he was almost done. And, the parents love it.
I like
that.
It's really convenient. I mean, it makes sense. So much of this is like we have to do it because of health reasons, but at the same time, it's ultimately a better experience for most people. It's like, oh, I don't have to come in. I don't have to just sit awkwardly and play on my phone. I can go be productive or make a phone call or whatever. I'm not just stuck in a waiting room. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
I like that.
I think you nailed it. I 100% agree that parents, we don't see it this way, but maybe our patients' parents think they have to come into the appointment with their kid. Maybe they think they're perceived like as a bad parent or something if they don't. And now I'm realizing like, okay, I never thought that they thought that way. And now that we're giving them permission to not come in, they're happy. So it's something that we'll start saying during our new patient exam is anytime that you come to an appointment, you don't need to be here unless we've otherwise told you. And parents, you can go run some errands. We'll tell you about how long they'll be, and you can come back.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll keep them safe. You just, we'll babysit till you get back. We're good.
Exactly. Why not?
Now you're up in Sherman, Texas, kind of small town, northern suburb of Dallas area. What's it like small town USA going through this thing? I mean, obviously, different parts of the country, some people are fine with the quarantine. Some are like, lock and load, don't infringe on my rights. Like, where does Sherman fall on that spectrum?
Kind of in between. So I think everybody's kind of over it. So the first weekend that stores were allowed to open, I went to what we call the town center because there's one in Sherman. So it's the town center. I don't even know what the real name of the place is called. And it has, Target and Ulta and things. And it looked like Black Friday. So I think that tells you people are ready to go out. And the restaurants are just as packed. I mean, they're at maximum capacity, which is 25% right now or whatever it is right now in Texas. But, people are respecting the social distancing, but they're not they're going out and doing things. I noticed in the store, when you pass people, because you want to kind of keep your distance, people just turn and they're not even looking at you anymore. And so I've tried to make a point that even when I'm 6 feet away to keep smiling, because it's almost like you used to do that when you were 2 feet away or 6 feet away or 8 feet away. Now people are too nervous are they too close to someone? If they look at them, are they breathing on them? But I think small town America is ready to get back up and running.
I love that. I love to hear that because I'm ready too. Now, Alyssa, I know I kind of like jumped in there with some questions, and I do want to pick your brain a little bit more about how you guys opened and such, because I think that some of the other offices would love to hear about that, or just to have another experience to bounce, or hear, just to hear more ideas of other ways to do it. But I want to go back a little bit and just kind of give everybody just a little bit of a history on how you got to this industry, how you got here, how did you become part of this amazing club of ortho peeps?
I'm not sure how I made the decision, or that I knew what a great decision I was making when I decided to become an orthodontist, because I thought I was becoming an orthodontist because I loved my pediatric dentist and orthodontist as a child. And I knew that I loved going to the office. And so I thought that's what I would love about it. And what I've learned is I love my patients, but even more so, I love my team, and I love having the ability to give back to my community. And then I don't know very many professions across the country that allow you to have so many professional relationships from like every corner of the world, as mentors, and who will like pick up the phone in the middle of the night if you need something, and that you can go to a conference and just everyone's happy and smiling. And that drives me to want to be better and do that for other people in the future. So like I said, I loved my pediatric dentist and orthodontist, and I had braces a little later, around 15, because those 12-year molars came a little late. And so got them off right before my senior pictures, like a couple days before. And I never turned back. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a banker, because my mom would always drive through the bank like every couple weeks and deposit her check. And she's a school teacher, and we'd go to the bank, and then like these people just like give you money and suckers. So I was like, I'm gonna do that when I grow up. Like you hand out money and suckers to people that pull up into line. Like, who doesn't want to do that? So at some point I got wise and realized like being a bank teller probably is not a lifelong career.
That is awesome. Janelle, what did you want to ask her? I'm sure you have one.
I have a ton of questions. What was one of your jobs as a teenager and growing up?
So when I was in high school, I used to babysit my mom's a teacher. So on teacher work days or summers or whatever, I used to babysit all of the teachers' kids. So either at the school and in like one of the classrooms, and I would just like make them popcorn or whatever, or I would go to their houses and watch them. But that was my childhood job.
I love it. Adorable.
So Alyssa, you just celebrated a birthday, by the way. Thank you for coming on and during your birthday week here. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you. I don't like to count them anymore.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're just celebrating anniversaries of your 25th birthday. I get it. I do that too.
Perfect.
So I want to go back to your reopening here. What day did you reopen? How long has it been now?
Technically we were allowed to open May 1st. But we opened with a 60 to 75% schedule on May 11th. And so that was our real open day back.
Perfect. And okay, so I have heard your messages or read your posts on Facebook about how I think you were able to keep your whole staff. Is that right?
Yes. So we actually furloughed the entire team, and then we rehired everybody part-time the next day. And then we personally calculated their unemployment benefits, and every single person's is different, and did not let them go above the number of hours each week. That would take away a little bit of their unemployment, because we wanted to allow all of them to at least get that $600 like bonus from unemployment. And so they all took home more than they do if they're just working for me. But we really tried to make it a time for them that even through unfortunate circumstances, that they were fine. And that took a huge weight off of my shoulders, because when we first talked about furloughing them, there was no set in stone stimulus yet. And so we just didn't do it. And we were really trying to avoid it. And then once we got notice that Texas accepted that, we made the move. But during that meeting that day, we said, we're doing this, but don't worry, because this is how much each of you will be making, as much or more than you do when you work for me. We're going to help you apply for unemployment right now. And then in 2 weeks, the first time you have to go back on and redo your unemployment, this is what you're going to do. And then we calculated all of their hours that they were allowed to work. And we needed them. We needed them to help us reschedule patients and to help us with virtual appointment checks with patients, that are turning expanders or reverse curves. So we were able to make it through, and they did amazing. And they never cease to impress me. I ask them to do something in a world that's new to all of us, and they just make it happen.
I love that. I love that. That is awesome. That's all good news.
Now, Alyssa, you actually just made a transition that many people who are kind of newer to the profession look forward to making. You were an associate for a while with your doc and just made the transition to partner, full-fledged partner. So first off, congratulations for that. Like, kudos to you. But what has that been like, not only navigating the transition just by itself, but also in the face of all this, and now suddenly the expectation on your decision-making and things like that?
I don't think when you buy into a business and you make, you buy in, and then normally by the time you make your first loan payment, it's a good 30 to 60 days later. So I made one loan payment on my business purchase, that you expect to have to like close your business that you just bought and then in addition lay off your entire team. And that to me was, I hope that's the most stressful thing I ever go through. And some people probably will think, oh gosh, she has so much ahead of her. But I was fine with not paying myself. I was like, worst case scenario, I have to sell my car and my house, but like I can live. Like I'll live. I can feed myself. I have enough money in savings for that. But I was worried about my team, and I was worried about my patients. And so, yeah, I was fortunate enough to buy into a practice. And as you said, Scott, it's a dream come true for so many people graduating residency. And then this happened. But the good news is that from this week, we're back up and running. And regardless of what happens, over the next 2 years with the economy, I still think we have such a bright future.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, Alyssa, I have a question for you. What would be your best advice for doctors out there listening, and then some tips for the teams to take back?
Okay. For the teams, give grace to each other. So of course, we had a few hiccups in the schedule, and we had done some virtual checkups and things that we were documenting, but it wasn't our normal type appointments. And so just give grace to each other as you bump into maybe appointments that were rescheduled for the wrong code. And so they were supposed to have a 60-minute appointment, but they're on the schedule for 20 minutes. Like, no one meant to do that to you. Just roll with it and breathe, and you're going to make it through, because life is not ending. And after 8 weeks from now, we're going to look back and we're going to laugh and say, you know what, we stressed so much. I probably lost, 100 pieces of hair and got 100 new gray ones, but luckily it blends in. But give grace. And then for the doctors, I've let my team kind of give me the feedback, which has guided my decisions. So I might have an idea, because we are kind of the ones on the forefront listening to the webinars and learning the OSHA and the CDC and our state guidelines. And so I kind of present what's important to them. And then I say, this is what I thought, but you guys know our processes in the office better than I do. Like, you know them like the back of your hand. So at the end of every day, we've been meeting and going through what went really great, what could be changed, how do we do it different? And that way I can fix it before I show up to work the next day, and we discuss it in morning huddle.
Oh,
Love it.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. All right, that was some fantastic information that I know that the teams are going to take away and apply to their practices, as well as the doctors, obviously. But we've been going through a lot lately, and I feel like we've all been listening to these webinars, and we've really, as an industry, just tried to filter through all of the best practices and try to take them, and apply them to our lives. And so I feel like this is the right platform that I need to utilize as just a public announcement to all of my fellow colleagues and friends in the ortho world. This is something that I've learned from experience, so I know this to be true in my heart. I just need everyone to know that if you meet Dr. Carter at one of our amazing meetings that she will definitely be at because she's always there, do not try to keep up with her in her drinks. Do not.
That is accurate. That's facts only.
Facts only. I just wanted to make sure that you all know that just because she's tiny does not mean that she is not a professional. So, Alyssa, could you maybe give everyone a background of why it is that you are so good at packing in, whatever is needed? Because I feel like you've got some experience in tailgating, and this has brought you to a whole new athletic, level when it comes to hanging out.
Okay, you have me laughing, but I'm not sure. Small but mighty? No, I'm just kidding. The tailgating's probably, got my endurance up a little bit, but I guess I'm a little bit of a competitive person, but sometimes I just don't realize, and then maybe a fast metabolism? Maybe it's a fast metabolism. And so I can have one and then it's done metabolizing before I have another one. I'm not sure.
Well, to be fair, I mean, your pedigree, you started at Oklahoma State, OSU. Then you go to, the Baylor A&M campus for dentistry. Then the University of Florida, Gainesville for orthodontics. I mean, that right there is a trifecta of
conditioning,
serious conditioning.
Exercise. Yeah, this is a real talent she has.
When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. This is true.
That is true, Scott. That it's definitely a trifecta, but I wouldn't take back a single bit of it. It's prepped me for the reality.
I love it. Okay.
All right. Well, I think it's time for the lightning round.
Let's do it.
The lightning round.
So we're about to enter the lightning round with fun questions, short answers. 2 minutes on the clock, Alyssa. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I've got one. Alyssa, who is your mentor? Because I know you have one.
I have a lot of mentors. I respect so many people in our profession, but I'd say people that focus on going above and beyond with aesthetics, like Stu Frost, Dwight Damon, Tom Pitts, Sarver, always respected Todd Bobenizer. Those are just a few of the many, many, many people.
Nice.
I love that. That's awesome.
All right. Favorite song? What do you listen to right now?
I love all music, but my all-time favorite song is Keeper of the Stars by Tracy Bird.
Wow, that's cool.
What are you reading right now? What books on your nightstand?
I just started reading a book called Hard Things, about the hard things. And it's really eye-opening, incredibly great for those of us that feel like we work pretty hard and that other people might not understand what goes into our profession.
That's fantastic.
All right, I have a question for you. Would you rather lose all your teeth or lose all your hair?
Neither. Lose all my hair.
Oh my gosh, I did not think you were going to say that. I totally thought you would go dentures.
You can do a wig.
I'd rather wear dentures. I love steak, and I'm not sure I could eat steak with dentures.
Okay, I've got one for you. What was the best purchase, you would say, vendor-wise in ortho? Maybe it was last year, and maybe it was this year, one of the two, but what of the recent purchases, what would you say is like, dang, I'm so glad that we decided to sign up with that, or I'm glad that we implemented this? Just curious.
It's funny that you asked that, because over the last 6 to 6 to 8 months, we have just added 5 or 6 things. So 100% orthophy. Just the amount of time my TCs were wasting doing insurance verification and the processes and reports they were having to pull from our software for pending patients when they could just set alerts and it's all right there in one place. It's really, really nice. So that's probably number one. We just got Weed, which is doing our phones and custom texting and has kind of replaced some other systems in our office. And I also think working with a company that gives you good customer service for your bracket and most of your products is a key part. Shout out to Brandon Ware for being the most amazing Ormco rep ever. He's just totally changed our practice and helped with some frustrations and inefficiencies that we had from, back-ordered products or products that weren't being shipped out on time, or just any resource we need in the industry, he helps us find it. So he's really an advocate for our practice, part of our team.
What are you most looking forward to coming out of kind of this stage of quarantine? Like, what's the one like life back to normal thing are you most like, oh, please let this happen?
I'm ready to be back on schedule because I accomplish more every day between like 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. after seeing 100 patients a day than I did when I didn't see any patients in a day. So just a schedule, and then I'm excited to go on a conference. Like I'm driven to be better every time I come back from a meeting. And when you're not doing those and you're just sitting and watching webinars all the time, it's not as motivating.
Which fall meeting are you most excited about?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm currently signed up for Pearls and Orthopreneurs, so Minneapolis and Austin. And even if they cancel them, I say we have an informal meeting and everybody goes and hangs out. We might have to pay for our own dinners because they won't be providing them, but we can brainstorm at the bar and hang out. So probably those two.
And I mean, so you're technically saying that really, if they don't have them, then maybe we should go and we'll all hang out at the hotel bar together and watch it virtually on our computers. Together.
That's a great idea. Or, I mean, we could even just like have tailgates together and watch it from there.
The first ortho tailgate. I could get behind this.
The first ortho tailgate.
I'm holding you both accountable for that.
Boom.
Hey, anytime. You just come on. I'm going to Austin and I'm going to Minneapolis. And if they cancel the meetings, I'll still be there.
Hey, I'll ride with you. We'll
Perfect.
go.
Would you rather only be able to whisper or only be able to shout?
I think I'd rather only be able to whisper.
And now for the remaining of the show, you are only able to whisper, okay?
Okay, let's
It depends on how many drinks I've had.
What would you say, what drives you? Like, what is your inspiration? Where do you pull from? Where, like, is it from books? Is it from people? Is it from spiritual? Like, is it from church? What do you do? What gives you all this power?
I get my energy from like working out. So when I feel like I just need to like have a break and get away for a little bit, I just go on a run or I go to the gym. And the rest of what everyone, my Energizer bunny, as my team calls me, I think just knowing like if you can do better, do it. And so I stay up late doing it. I don't know. I love knowing that there's always a better version of yourself.
Oh, I love that. Hashtag growth, hashtag hustle, hashtag, what else can I come up with?
I don't know. Hashtag overkill.
Hashtag be a Janelle and Tracy.
Nice.
What would you say is your kryptonite? Like, my kryptonite is pop water. That's a thing.
It's not a thing.
It's a thing.
Sparkling water. I don't know why she insists on trying to make it a thing.
It's called
It's
pop
not a
water.
thing. It's sparkling water.
Let's just start calling it pop water.
That's not even kryptonite. It's not even the right use of the term kryptonite.
It is my kryptonite. I would never say no to it. So what is your kryptonite? What is something that you will always say yes to no matter what? And it could be food, it could be drink, it could be just a luxury in
Activity,
life. Activity, yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Sweet tea.
Mhm.
You were so Texan. God, I love that.
Hey, I get half and half sometimes. Half sweet, half unsweet. Sweet tea and anything outdoors. So like the beach, camping, bike rides, anything outdoors. Like sign me up.
Love it.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right. Well, hey, Miss Orthodontically Blonde herself, thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Alyssa Carter, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you for having me. For the ortho people out there watching this, if you don't know Tracy and her team, you're missing out because they are some of the most amazing, honest people in orthodontics, and they'll help you with your practice.
Aw,
You're
you're
awesome.
so sweet.
Check is
Thank
in the
you.
mail.
Yeah, make sure you write her a check. Don't forget that. All right, well, I feel like that was an amazing episode of Straight Talk, episode 2, Alyssa Carter. Thank you so much, Dr. Carter.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Janelle Baum. Thank you so much, Scott Caldwell. This has been great. I hope our ortho teams and docs and industry vendors, everybody a part of this, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you're having fun with this. If you have comments or suggestions, please send them to me. My email is tracy@straightconsulting.com. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Cheers.
Bye.